Actually, I didn't plan to say anything about Kris Wu when rainstorms hit Henan and then here comes the Olympics and netizens' attention would just completely transfer to them. I thought maybe that's the end of the story, no verdict on Kris Wu's guilt and no punishment. Maybe just several years or a month later, he will be back and just still be the pop star and the big celebrity. But to my surprise, I read the news lately saying Kris Wu was detained on suspicion of rape. Haha, that's really a good news. And that's the time when I felt the existence of justice and the power of us, numerous common people just like you and me. It made me believe that everyone is equal before the law. It's not just a slogan. When the 19-year-old student Du Meizhu accused Mr. Wu of rape, I think no one would treat it seriously because they just regarded it as an entertainment gossip tended with a peachy atmosphere. Of course, one is just a student with no fame, no money, and no resource, while the other owns over 50 million followers and is just a super famous celebrity. So this is just a battle between an ant and an elephant. Since 8th July 2021, Ms. Du posted her allegations on the social media platform Weibo, and she said she met Mr. Wu when she was 17 and she had been invited to a party at his home, where she was pressured to drink alcohol and woke up in his bed the next day. Ms. Du said 7 other women had told her Mr. Wu had seduced them with promises of jobs and other opportunities. She said some were minors. After her accusation, at least 24 more women have since come forward alleging inappropriate behavior. The 30-year-old Mr. Wu denied the accusations and said he had filed a defamation suit. There was no groupie sex, there was no underage, he wrote on his social media account after the allegations were made. If there were this kind of thing, please everyone relax, I would put myself in jail. Huh? And now, he really did what he said. He is a man of his word. Ta-da! At that time, after his allegations, still there are at least 10 brands in China announcing that they have cut ties with Kris Wu, including luxury car brand Porsche, French beauty brand Lancôme, German brand Tempo, food brand Mastercom, and platform Tencent Video. And there are numerous calls for him to quit entertainment and leave China. The thing that made me feel the progress of the time and the country should be people's support behind those female victims. Usually, in this case, those female survivors often face victim-blaming attitudes, like, she did it to increase her visibility, she wants money and she deserves it, blah blah. So most of them may reluctantly to make a sexual harassment complaint. Ms. Du and other girls who speak out are really brave. Also, many supporters rallied behind those girls, shows the power of Girls Help Girls and the growth of sexual consent awareness. The Weibo hashtag "What exactly is sexual consent" has racked up more than 380 million views in recent days. Some pointed out the difficulties women faced in saying no to sexual advances. A lot of times, when women refuse, men will think they are just being bashful, that they want to say no while welcoming men, said one commenter. Many men said that they found women confusing, claiming that in Chinese culture saying no could also be read as flirtatious behavior. The problem is that in our culture, encouraging humility results in people really rejecting something outright. What should we do? One user wrote. Such comments sparked angry responses. Don't try to use language or culture to get away with it. If someone did not give you an explicit yes, everything else should be seen as a rejection, someone said. Another added, only yes means yes, and that yes can be withdrawn any time. Why is this so hard to understand? So here, I would like to share 5 things you need to know about sexual consent, and I hope that everyone in sexual activity can respect your partner. Firstly, sexual consent must be explicit. When you are engaging in sexual activity, consent is about communication, and it should happen every time for every type of activity. Consenting to one activity one time does not mean someone gives consent for other activities or for the same activity on other occasions. For example, agreeing to kiss someone doesn't give that person permission to remove your clothes. Having sex with someone in the past doesn't give that person permission to have sex with you again in the future. It's important to discuss boundaries and expectations with your partner prior to engaging in any sexual behavior. Secondly, you can always change your mind. You can withdraw consent at any point if you feel uncomfortable. One way to do this is to clearly communicate to your partners that you are no longer comfortable with this activity and wish to stop. Withdrawing consent can sometimes be challenging or difficult to do verbally, so non-verbal cues can also be used to convey this. The best way to ensure that all parties are comfortable with any sexual activity is to talk about it, check in periodically, and make sure everyone involved consents before escalating or changing activities. Thirdly, it's good to check in with each other. Take notice of your sexual partner's body language. For example, if they seem tense or uncomfortable, pause and ask them how they're feeling. But don't rely on them to notice your body language. Speak up and tell them how you're feeling and if you want to stop or take a break. Fourthly, it's fine to slow things down or stop. There's really no rush to have sex if you're not feeling it. If things are moving along too quickly for you, you could say something like, "Can we slow down? Can we take a break? Or can we stop?" Fifthly, drink and drugs affect consent. If you're really drunk or high, you cannot give consent. And if you're sexual in any way with someone who is drunk or high and doesn't know what's going on, and therefore cannot give informed consent, it's equivalent to raping them.